Hello BookTube! Today I am doing my very first review type video on the novel Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Oh my goodness, can we just talk about this book? And excuse the kitchen sounds in the background, but this is one of the best books I've read in years, and I'm not even exaggerating by saying that. It's amazing. So this book is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, which is actually one of my absolute favorite classic novels and novels of all time. Heartless follows a young girl, I guess she's more about my age, in her late teens or early 20s, and she is named Catherine, and she is the daughter of a marioness. I have no idea how to say that word, so yeah, but basically her parents would like her to marry royally and marry the king. Catherine, however, is just a very simple girl who wants to start a bakery and live a normal life. She doesn't really want all of that glam and all the excitement and all the balls and everything of being married to the king and becoming the Queen of Hearts. However, her mother is very pushy and decides that she needs to wear a red dress at the king's black and white ball, and everything goes crazy from that point in the novel on. I thoroughly enjoyed my time reading this novel. It's truly a masterpiece. I cannot think of a book besides the Lunar Chronicles, which Marissa Meyer also wrote, that intertwines so many different characters and so many different plot lines into one very intricate, beautiful plot. It's amazing how Marissa Meyer can do so. And while I loved the sci-fi element of the Lunar Chronicles, which are Cinder and Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, I loved these books, and I loved that they were sci-fi adaptations of fairy tales. I loved that Heartless was a fantasy adaptation. When I first heard that Marissa Meyer was going to be making a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, I was ecstatic because I love her writing and I've loved the Lunar Chronicles. They're one of my favorite series of all time. But I was disappointed when I found out that Heartless was not going to be sci-fi like the Lunar Chronicles are, because I absolutely love sci-fi. It's like my favorite genre besides contemporary. However, I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed the fantasy adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, and I enjoyed this world that she created within Wonderland more than I thought I would, because I was so disappointed when I found out that it wasn't going to be sci-fi. Oh my goodness. In the end, this book didn't need sci-fi added to it to make it better, because it was perfect the way it was just in Wonderland. It was amazing. And not only did I love the setting, because it's one of my favorite places in the whole wide universe of literature, I also loved the characters that Marissa created within this novel. We don't really get to know these characters so deeply in Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, but in this novel, she really delves into each character, and you get a different perspective on the characters that you already know by reading this book. My favorite character was definitely Jest, who is the court joker for the king, and he's a very mysterious character, but he's also very warm and adorable and charming. So if you like that kind of character, you'll definitely love Jest. I also loved Catherine, our main lead in this novel, because she is so brave, but at the same time, she's very, normal. You can relate to her emotions and understand where she's coming from. Anyway, if you haven't read Heartless yet, then you should probably stop watching this video right now and read the book, because it's absolutely incredible, and then come back when you've finished it to the spoiler section of this video. Oh my goodness, I'm like still about to cry. I finished this book at 3 a.m. last night and I was like, what? And I was trying not to scream, what? Out loud because everyone else was asleep. I was so in shock that I only teared up. I didn't like start crying right away. And then the whole ending of the book was so fast-paced and there was so much going on that I didn't even think to cry. And then I closed the book and then I was like, oh goodness, now I'm gonna cry because I realized it was over for one thing and all of the craziness caught up to me finally. I really loved that Catherine, our female lead, slayed the Jabberwock in the end because, like, of course, we love those female leads being able to be strong and awesome and not needing the guy to rescue them. But I also was like, Jess, no! My mom is in the other room and I'm trying to be somewhat quiet or something, or telling her to plug her ears because I don't want her to hear spoilers because she's definitely gonna read this. She needs to, it's so good. Okay, so I want to talk about Hatta for a minute. It was such an interesting adaptation of the Mad Hatter to me, his character, and I liked how clear his mental image was to me of his character. It was just incredible how I formed his character right away as soon as we had his first description of him. Also, I was always suspicious of Raven, and so when they were in the maze and all the fairies were telling them all this stuff, I was like, Raven's gonna kill Jest, and no! Can I just say those sisters freaked me out, by the way. They were horrifying. I was just like, reading about them. Their drawings were like, oh, they're so morbid. And then when Kath went back through the door, I was just like, Kath, no! She'll be okay. Mary Ann is going to be fine. Just don't go back. You can't go back. That's a bad idea. But of course, Kath did not listen to me and she went back for Mary Ann anyway, and then everyone died. So good job, Kath. I kind of liked that the ending wasn't very like secure and closed ends and everything. It was not a happy ending, really. It really wasn't. Finding out how Kath ended up becoming the Queen of Hearts and how that affected, like, that the broken heart is what made her the way she was, and then they literally stole her heart and she became heartless. Like, that's the premise of the novel, but it was crafted in such a way that I was just reading so fast trying to figure out what was gonna happen, and it was just crazy. Can we just talk about the last line? Once it was revealed that Kath became the Kath of Hearts? Queen of Hearts, I knew what the last line would be. I knew that would be the last line. But I guess I don't know, it really made the story really affect me. I was like, whoa, off with his head. That's the iconic line, and she just said it. And that's the beginning of the evil Queen of Hearts. Is she so evil? I don't know. I really don't know what to think anymore because her past is so innocent and so amazing, and then she went downhill because of all this tragedy that happened, and I just, it's amazing. The way that Kath deteriorated into more of a villain type character instead of being our hero of the story was really interesting, and it actually reminded me of Marissa Meyer's book Fairest, which is about the villain of the Lunar Chronicles, Queen Lavanna. And seeing Kath like go from this beautiful girl who has a lot going for her and she's an amazing baker, the best in the kingdom, and seeing her go bad just reminded me slightly of this novel. And the way that Marissa can write that type of thing is just stunning. I was so impressed. Still like a little bit in shock about Jest. I really can't believe it. It's kind of just, it's almost, I don't know, it's just heartbreaking and I don't know what to do with myself. Anyway, I think that is it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to be making reviews for hopefully every other book, if not every book that I read this year. We'll see how it goes, but I really want to start reviewing books because I think it's interesting to look back and see my experience reading them, and also to be able to see what I thought right after reading the book instead of having to try to remember all the details of the book later on. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you haven't read Heartless, why are you still here? You need to go read it, and I hope you didn't watch until now because I don't want you to be spoiled. Also, I'm never gonna get over it. It's in my heart. I'm heartless. It's gone. This book stole my heart and made me heartless. I will see you guys soon with another new video. Bye!